Three, two, one, and we're live. What's up, everybody? It's Tyler with Hook Sets Are Free, and welcome back to another live show. It is Saturday, July the 20th, 2024. About standard time for me, 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Hope you're all doing well. It is hot, middle of the summer, and I am glad to be back with you. I feel like I have not been streaming as much as I wanted to going into the summer, but got a little Coors Banquet for you. I am going to be a little fancy and pour it into a banquet glass. But I've got an unboxing to do for this month's package from Discount Tackle. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but when I say this month's unboxing at Discount Tackle, they are lures that I am personally shopping for each and every month. Um, I have gone through a little bit of, kind of the rhyme and reason for what I do pick up, but I want to make it clear that these are lures that I'm shopping for and not necessarily that Discount Tackle is just sending to me. So there is a specific reason for why I purchase all of these things each and every month. They are different every month, and that is intentional. I am trying to get new things that are on my radar that I have not tried yet. Every now and again, I will restock on certain things. I don't recall what is in here. I'm pretty sure most of this stuff is pretty finessey. So it'll be interesting to check out some of these that we have not seen before. In fact, I think most of them are pretty new to the market. So after we do the unboxing, we'll talk a little bit about ICAST and some of the new releases, see what your guys' opinions are, and maybe just go through what is on Tackle Warehouse and perhaps the Bassmaster site, things like that. But curious to know your guys' thoughts and opinions, observations. It seemed like a somewhat underwhelming ICAST, in my opinion, but we can talk about that as we get to it. So, Tom Mix in the house. What's up, dude? What's up, brother? Big Malone, Daniel T in the house. What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. We got 6 people in here right now, so a little bit of a quiet show so far, but we've only been on 3 minutes, so we'll give people a couple more minutes to hop in here, and then we will bust this out and show you what we got. So I have been fishing a handful of times since I was on last. Wow, my phone battery is lower than low, but I should be able to pull up a couple of photos for you. And yeah, check this out. This was just on Wednesday night. My thumb had gotten pretty wrecked on Wednesday night. I did catch a ton of fish that evening. So I want to say I've gone out like 3 times since I was on last. What is today? July the 20th. So I was out, I don't remember when my last live was, but on the 11th, I caught a handful of pretty good fish. Maybe I talked about that last time, but either way, I went out before sundown and caught a handful of fish on the jackhammer paired up with the Bellows shad elastomer as a trailer. So that combo has been wicked for me for the last few weeks or last month. And then right after the sun went down, I had a bunch of fish start chewing on the rat. And those are my first rat fish of the year this year. Caught maybe 5 or so on the rat, and then another few on that chatterbait combo after it had gotten dark. So I fished until about, oh, 11 o'clock that night, and then went out after work this past Monday, so almost a week ago, and caught a few decent fish on a bladed jig that I had never caught fish on before. And that is the depths. Oh, what do they even call it? We might need to look it up. But I was using a standard bellows gill, so not the elastomer. And this was like right as a storm rolled in, so conditions were prime time. And then I caught a fatty. So that guy kind of ruined the trailer for me, but was probably 4.5 pushing 5 pounds. And yeah, that was super fun. And then I went out on Tuesday night, and that jackhammer combo slayed it. I caught a few walleye to start out with, and then caught a ton of kind of mid-sized fish in the 2 to 3 pound range on the jackhammer and bellows shad elastomer. And then that lure actually hung up for me after I'd caught maybe 8 fish on it. You'll see these are all different fish. And finally, it did hang up. I lost it. So I just went back to the car, tied on a black and blue with that same green pumpkin purple um, bellows shad elastomer, and kept whacking them on that same bait. So I probably caught 12 to 15 fish on Wednesday night in just 2 hours. But that jackhammer and bellows shad elastomer has been an absolutely deadly combo for me um, this summer, ever since I've started trying it, really. Bruce Nichols in the house. So Daniel T, doing it like an administrator should. Super appreciate you. That is my affiliate link. So if you're interested in any of the stuff that you see in tonight's unboxing, or you're just interested in finding good deals on tackle day in and day out, year round, check out Discount Tackle. Use that / AFF equals 3, or click the link in the description to this video, or copy paste it into your browser. Um, it'll all take you to the same place, which is the homepage of Discount Tackle, but we'll let them know that I referred you, and will give me a small commission on what it is that you purchase from Discount Tackle. Anything over $59 will get you free shipping. And it is my favorite place to shop, has been for years. So Tom Mix says, got to go out and go fishing this evening after leaving the nursing/rehab center. Caught a bunch of pounders. Oh, you got to go out. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were saying you need to go out. Caught a bunch of pounders and then set the hook on a slob. Got within inches of lipping it. Saw the bait in its mouth. So what do you mean? Did it get off, or did it break your line? What ended up happening? Dude, you leaving us hanging like that, Tom. Brendan Brown in the house, my man. Organizing the tackle mess in the back of my car from ICAST. Okay, dude. I'm glad to know that you went to ICAST and had a fun time, and that you have a tackle mess from ICAST. That's wicked. Sweet, dude. Ratfish are fun. I'm with you on that. I thought it was like last week. I don't remember, but oh, the line broke. That is rough, dude. And it was at least a 6 pounder. Ouchie couchie, my man. The Evo and a small bellows gill has been deadly for you. Yeah, the Evo's been wicked for me as well. So, Brendan, what is the name of the Depths chatterbait? It's called the Depths Custom B Chatter. I will see if I can share my screen with you real quick. Real quick. Just do one of these, pull me down here. So what ended up happening for me is that after having this bait for a minute and not fishing it, the rubber on the skirt just eroded and I was left with this. So I had to retie the skirt on there by hand. Not a huge deal, but it is a nice rubber skirt. Um, you'll see that the angle is different on this bait. It's got kind of an elongated head, but it stays high in the water. Um, has a great kick and good vibration to it, and it has a gaff of a hook. Um, so I'm a fan of it. I wouldn't say it like immediately jumps to the top of the list for me in terms of bladed jigs, but it's one that I'd been meaning to try for a long time. And maybe I'd thrown it once or twice, but not had success on. Last year was, for some reason, just not a great chatterbait year for me. But this year it's been back on like Donkey Kong. And yeah, ever since the first day I caught fish this spring when the water was freezing, the chatterbait bite has been the most productive for me just consistently. So that is my deal. But I've had great success on the Evo as well. Um, best pairing I had with it was pre-spawn, using it with the Z-Man Turbo Cross as a trailer. A lot of action on that. Tons of durability. That was a hell of a pairing for me. But I'm a fan of that chatterbait. Only problem is now they're releasing the tungsten version and charging the same price as what they do for a jackhammer. And that doesn't add up. Honestly, I don't see a reason to have it in tungsten. So I am not going to fall for that. But otherwise, the standard Evo for $10, I am definitely a fan of that. Ooh, we got Frank in the house. My man, Frank. All right. Right. Good question. All right, everybody. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button real quick. We're going to get into this unboxing. Discount tackle for the month of July. Hopefully we can keep Brendan's attention because this is a finessey bag of goodies that we got here. And this is surprising. So first up is the Depths Sakamata shad. These have been selling like hotcakes everywhere. I did not quite think about it as I ordered these, just how small they would be. You know, this is a 4-inch. I have them in 5 and 6, or maybe 5, 6, 7. They make them up to an 8-inch, and they make them down to, I think this might be their smallest size, but holy moly, I wasn't thinking about the fact that like these are essentially going to be the same size as what you get out of the Baby Z2 from Strike King, which is my favorite bait in this style. But the action on the Sakamata shad is definitely different. But look at how small and cute this is. I wonder if the action is going to be the same as its bigger brothers. You see we have that those stabilizer fins on it. It is wanting to wag even when I'm not doing anything with it. But this is kind of like an electric shad color. I forget what they call it. Biwako shad, maybe. Love that purple fleck and iridescence in there, but very natural color pattern. You could throw this on like a 1/0 or a 2/0 EWG, or you could nose hook it and drop shot it. You could throw it on a tiny little ball jig. So something like the range roller in a 1/0 would make a perfect combo for like strolling. Yeah, that would be great. So I did not have any Sakamoto shads in the 4-inch and was curious about it. They are smaller than I expected, but I'm not necessarily mad about it. So pretty cool to have. I will report back on how those perform because I am more likely to throw those on a regular basis than I am like the 6-inch feels big, right? Um, okay. I kind of want to take a look at the sheet of paper that reminds me just my invoice, tells me what I spent and what I got so that I can kind of go through here a little easier. So I spent $86.94 on this. How about a bait that I do not throw very often that everybody and their mom does? Um, who knows if they throw this one specifically, but this is the Yamamoto Senko Fat. So green pumpkin, 297. Couldn't be any more classic other than the fact that this is a fat Senko. Okay. So little extra girth, thickness on this Senko. Um, I rarely throw a Senko, but I find that there are certain times, especially in higher pressured bodies of water, and when it's really hot and the bite is not on, that a Senko has done well for me. Now, I just don't carry them with me on a regular basis, but I have never fished the fat Senko and was curious to see it. And I might just have to keep these handy on me for when I'm fishing somewhere or when I have an opportunity to fish, but it's not prime time. If it's right after I get off of work and it's 3 or 4 o'clock and the sun is high and it's 95 or 100 degrees outside and it's sunny, the fish are hiding. A Senko just might be the trick. Now, it's a little bit easier to catch them on a moving bait and things like that when the clouds roll in, starts to storm, and we get a little bit of rain. That's what did the trick for me this past Monday. But yeah, I just picked up a pack of Senkos. So let me tell you what each of those cost. I don't think there was much of a discount on either of those. The Sakamoto shads are full price. They're $10.99. You get 8 to a pack. So not cheap. It is what it is. It's depths. High quality stuff straight out of Japan. Yamamoto Fat Senkos, $7.19. I want to say they retail for $7.99. So, 10% off ish. 10 to a pack for those. So that's about as aggressive as this package gets. And then we're kind of stepping it down, getting a little more subtle here. So let's talk about this guy. I had only purchased some bigger ones of these. This is the Molotron. I kind of hope that so we could pause right here and just say one thing at ICAST that I was pretty pumped about, and I think maybe they won an award for it. I'm not sure, but last year Z-Man came out with the Molotron, which is a wicked soft plastic bait, super cool. Um, Soft plastic swim bait comes in a 4-inch and a 6-inch, and it is a line through top hook bait. Okay. So the weight is poured into the belly of this bait. It has a line through system going from the nose to the top of this bait. Tie on your hook, slip it right into that section, and it stays in there until you set the hook. Only disadvantage to this bait really is the color patterns. This is a mullet and therefore primarily a saltwater bait. So most of the color patterns in this bait are just not all that applicable to bass. But this year they came out with the Shadtron, which is a much taller profile bait to mimic more of a gizzard shad, has the same tail, is also made from Elastec, is also line through. Um, Maybe even has the option to do a line through to the belly and put on a treble hook. But either way, awesome concept, comes in much more appropriate bass fishing colors for freshwater. And I am pumped about that. So I am curious to know, are they going to make an unrigged version of that maybe they just called the Shadtron? That's got a little bit more of a shad profile, but still with this wedge tail design. I don't know. This is the bad shad color, so still pretty appropriate for bass fishing. I've managed to find the one or two colors that they produce in these saltwater baits that will translate pretty well for bass. So this is kind of like a black shad um, type of color pattern, and it'll work. So throw this on a little jig head, little round ball, or even like a little swing head, like what we've been talking about a lot recently, being the VMC swinging Ned heads that I've had tons of success on this year. And that is a head that you can rig your baits straight through, or you can rig them weedless. Doesn't really matter how you do it. So this would be what it looks like when you rig it straight through. And then you get that swinging head. You'll have a little bit more action to it, but can kill it. Let it go sit on bottom. This doubles as both a great Ned rig bait and a finesse swim bait. So I would probably just throw this on a straight ball head jig more frequently than on a Ned head or a swing head like this. But you could do it however you want. This is an awesome size bait. They make it in two sizes. So this is the 3.3. The other I think is more like a 4.2. So Daniel, the Molotron in the Midnight Express. I imagine it would work well. Is that black and purple color that I have some of? Let's see if we can take a look. Got to spell Molotron right. Maybe you guys aren't even looking with me. Whoopsies. Oh, I was thinking of the purple demon color, I believe, but maybe there's a color in the. Oh no. Okay, so Midnight Express. That is the one that I have in the 4.5 inch. I have not really fished it at night much, but you got to keep in mind that it is a bait with pretty subtle action. So at nighttime, I'm usually fishing something that has a little bit more pull to it. It's either making a lot of noise or has a lot of vibration, and that I will be able to detect bites on better, but really so that the fish can find it better. But the kick on the back of the Molotron is pretty dang subtle. So I don't know that it would be an ideal night fishing bait, but Brendan says the shads are sweet. Just need to be bigger. 6 inch doesn't have enough drawing power. All right. Yeah, whatever, dude. Did you tell that to Z-Man? You think they're gonna make an 8 or a 9 inch line through shad like that? Probably not, but who knows? Okay, so that shad, the Molotron loose body is $4.24 per pack, and you get 4 in a pack. So good deal. Now what do we got? Ooh, baby. Okay. So let's just quickly go through one of these and then we'll maybe spend a little bit more time on the others. But this is the bait that I was talking about just 20 minutes ago that has been absolutely killer for me on the back of a chatterbait. In my opinion, I see this as more of a trailer than the way that you would typically use this. You know, the bellows shad and the bellows gill initially were designed to be Texas rig baits. I found the most success throwing them weightless on a Texas rig. Some people might have great success punching with them, uh, skipping them, but once you start having a floating version, awesome packaging, by the way, in the single clamshell. Um, Absolutely love, love, love that. So these only come 3 to a pack. They're not cheap. They're standard price. So we're talking about $9.49 per pack. So we're $3 per bait on these. But look at how well that is poured. It looks exactly like the original Bellow Shad, but is made from Elastec. Has the same type of action, but naturally this thing is going to float. So weightless does not work for these guys because it will sit on the surface. So you'd need to have a really heavy hook, or you need to put some type of nail weight inside the bait, or likely just throw it on a free rig or a Texas rig with a little bit of weight on it. Throw it on a Tokyo rig, something of the sort. Otherwise, I think this makes a fantastic trailer on a swim jig, on a chatterbait, would be great on a buzz bait, um, or a spinner bait. The thing is lovely. The way that it tapers down, it's just awesome. So I've been rigging it like so. So wide profile on a chatterbait, not up and down, not a tall profile, but rather a wide profile. Okay. And it has been killer for me. So you'll notice that this bait, the inside of it is not super bulky, but because of all this ribbing, it gives the illusion of a big profile, and it moves a lot of water, um, creates a lot of air bubbles. Is just a fantastic bait. These elastomer versions of the G-Crack stuff does have their standard scent in it, and kudos to them for being able to do that. So this is just a black and blue to go along with the green pumpkin purple that I have been using. I think I have one left in the green pumpkin purple, and might need to restock on those as well. But this bait, I'm a big fan of, and they did just make the Bellows gill floating, which Daniel just dropped a link to. This is the Bellows shad that I've been using. The Bellows gill is the newer release. They started with the Bellows shad, and finally just released the Bellows gill and a couple sizes of the Bellows stick. So I have those as well. These are all kind of new. Maybe they even said at ICAST that these were new releases. I know the CEO of Z-Man did not ask him to make a 9-inch. Well, why not if you know him? All right. Will you throw a lot of worms at night in the summer? Hmm. Carolina rig would work really well, Gators. Yep. Absolutely. Daniel, yes, it smells like popcorn. Oh, you didn't ask him. You told him or demanded that he needs a 9-inch. Whoa, okie dokie. You are funny. So the Bellows stick. This is a bait that comes in a bunch of sizes from as small as a 2.8 to as large as like a I don't know, 6 or 7.8. They get pretty big, but for the elastomer, they really just started with the 3.8 and the 2.8 sizes. And Discount Tackle did not have every color in stock, but look at how much action these things have. As I try to flip it upside down for you, that thing will bend over immediately. Tons and tons of action for such a small worm. Um, if you're going to throw this on a Nico rig, I mean, I'd rig that thing fairly high. Normally on a Nico rig, I like to rig it maybe 30% of the way up from the nose. But with this guy, with how much it bends over, I might go right square in the middle, like at the 50% mark. I don't know. We will see about that. So I got this in one color and the 2.8 in two colors because this thing was selling pretty well. I will say that. Smells like popcorn, Daniel. So this is going to be a sweet little bait that I will rig in a few different ways. And again, these are $9.49 per pack. This color is called Light Gill Candy. It's almost like a sand type of color, but it is really just a light green pumpkin. Has a little bit of just a little bit of that purple flake in there that I love in like an electric shad. So, uh, wicked color. I did get some things to pair up with it, so we'll just go ahead with those. since we're at it, you know what I mean? So because this is made of elastec or elastomer, should I say, is there a 12-inch bellow stick or you just want them to make one? You guys are funny. I demand, G-Crack, that you make an 18-inch bellows. That is funny. Yeah, for me, it's more of like a Fritos vibe that I get from them than popcorn, but I completely understand what you're saying and see where you're coming from. Makes sense. Cheers, guys. Ooh, Frank, rigging up right now, my man. What are you rigging up? Are you gonna whack on them tomorrow, or what, Frankie? Because I'm jealous. I don't get to go fishing tomorrow. I'm chilling with the kids. So I didn't even mention as I just pulled these out. Um, where did I just put the package? These are the Nico weights. Nico Shrooms Wacky Rig weights from Z-Man. I absolutely love these. Designed specifically for Elastec baits. This is in the heavier size, which for Z-Man is 1/6 of an ounce. So just a little heavier than an eighth. But this is what the weight looks like. It's a mushroom style head with a double bait keeper on there. Holds very well. I have lost a few of them over the course of, the couple years that I've fished them. If the bait starts to get a little worn out in the nose, you do need to kind of look out for that. But these will hold really well. I've got it on one barb here. Um, if you start to catch a bunch of fish on it, then that is where it will start to wear down. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, just like anything else, you might need to kind of pull this up over the keeper, use a little extra force, but sticks right into the head there. I can't even tell you if these are green pumpkin or black. These are black. I have some in green pumpkin. I don't love the way that that color looks, but that's fine. So this will allow the bait to sit flush with the bottom and stand straight up. And then you take yourself a pack of VMC weedless Nico hooks. So by the way, these Nico Shrooms weights, if Daniel's going to drop, yeah, he already did. Daniel is so on it. Those are $4.50 a pack. These BMC weedless Nico hooks are some of my absolute favorites. This is the 1/0 size. This is $5.52 per pack. Does come with 5 hooks in a pack, so not super cheap, but these are quality. And I love the gap on them. I love the weed guard on them. Just a great hook. So all you got to do, find your spot. For me, it's going to be about 50% of the way through there. Go in and out. Now, seeing just how aggressive that is, I might come out and come down a little bit lower. And I kind of like that. So you'll see that this the hook looks pretty big on there. You could go a little bit smaller, throw a standard wacky hook on there if you wanted to, something in the ballpark of a size 1 or a size 2 hook, but That combo right there on a Nico rig, I think is going to be a great combo. Super finessey Nico rig, but one that I look forward to giving a shot. Now, another thing in this package that also fits this is the G-Crack Nico hack in a bulk pack. So initially when I bought these, I got them in the smaller packages. They sell them in like a little pack of like 8 or so, and then in a big pack of 30, a value pack, if you will. So the G-Crack value pack was $8.29. And these Nico hacks are pretty cool, especially if you're using the ones that are not elastomer, because as we've talked about, G-Crack baits are made traditionally with their SAF material, which is a high salt material of plastic that they're using to pour their baits. And so they have created this little terminal tackle hack, if you will. Doesn't look like much, but all you do is punch this through where you want to use a wacky hook. Theoretically, it would work a little bit better or be more effective with, one of their standard plastisol baits, but I just had no issue punching that through the side of the elastomer. And what you get is something that looks like this. And then on the other side of this, where it punches through the bait, there is a hole. Can you see that? And that is what then you thread your hook right up through. And you trim off the excess. I don't think I have any scissors handy on me right now. I do have a knife. I don't love doing this with a knife, but also I ain't no bitch. So we'll do a rough job on it there. Might want to cut a little bit more off than that, but at least that's not going to compromise the hole there. And so then what you get is a little bit more freedom of movement, but the hook's not going to come off of there. And then when you set the hook, you're not really putting stress on the actual plastic, but rather this Nico hack piece of plastic, but not the bait itself. So very awesome little deal for standard soft plastic baits, more so than elastomer, but decided to stock up on a value pack of these bad boys. So yeah, that is kind of a lot of things that all go together for Nico rigging. Is the bellows stick in the 3.8, the Nico Shrooms weights, the VMC, I can't keep track of it all. The VMC weedless Nico hooks in the 1/0, and the value pack in the Nico hack from G-Crack. So all of those is just to beef up my Nico rig game, but I do think that Nico hack would really come in handy when using the bellows shad or the bellows gill or the larger bellows stick baits when you're wanting to Nico rig. And then I got 2 packs of the smaller 2.8-inch bellows stick, which is just going to be a perfect Ned rig bait. Brendan, I probably could have used my teeth. It looked a little bit thick at the time. Would have been like, 150 pound mono. I'll do that up to about 20, 25 pound. Like I said, I ain't no bitch, but yeah, take it easy, bro. So the 2.8-inch comes with 5 to a pack. Again, made from elastomer. This is one of my most productive colors of all time with the bellows gill. Green pumpkin chartreuse has been absolutely killer for me over the last 2 years. Love, love, love this guy. Not necessarily this bait because I have not thrown the 2.8-inch bellows stick. I really have only thrown like the 4.8 and the 5.8-inch sizes in the regular plastisol, but I have not. These are brand new to the US at least, and maybe just overall that G-Crack has made is the elastomer stuff. So the 2.8 and the 3.8 are the only sizes that you can get it in right now. So smells delicious. That's going to go perfect on a Ned rig. I've already told you that I've had a lot of success on the Savage Gear Duratech stick bait of theirs. I think they call it the Dragon Tail Slug, perhaps. The Savage Gear Duratech Ned baits have been fantastic for me. So just add a different scent, different profile, different ribbing, and I'm in. So would make a great Ned rig bait in particular. I'm probably more likely to throw the 3.8-inch on a drop shot than I am the 2.8, but both could be serviceable in that regard. Oh, shit. So these are not packaged the same way that the bellows shads are. They're not individually packaged. So this is just like an open face clamshell. And so as you slide it out of the bag, some of these do just want to roll right out. A little bit annoying, but honestly, I don't care all that much. So again, 5 to a pack here. You're paying about $2 per bait, but they should last for a very long time, perhaps until you lose the bait. And the other color I got is a shad type of color. I think it's actually electric shad. I don't have a lot of shad colored Ned baits. So that is pretty cool. These could actually make nice little trailers on the back of a chatterbait as well. A tiny chatterbait, the 2.8 would have to be on a small chatterbait, but the 3.8 could go on the back of any chatterbait, really. So something to keep in mind, something that I might give a try to. If you're wanting a little bit more action, these guys have a lot of action to them. So 2 packs of the bellows stick, 2.8 elastomer. And then last things in this package are some BFS little micro baits from Z-Man. I showed you this one last week, so we'll go with it. This is the micro worms. I do need to give a shout out to Ethan over at Mule Fishing, I did when I first opened these because he has a bait that is very similar to this, and I feel kind of bad for him that Z-Man is now making this bait, but it is just going to be an absolutely killer bait. So this is their micro worms. Perfect for trout and for crappie, bluegill, bass, just catching a little bit of everything, anything that swims. Steady taper on that guy. Nice little sack in the middle. So this is the yoga pants color. Last week I got it in a more natural. It looked like a PB&J type of color, I think. I don't know where I set those, but anyway, these ones are a good deal. You get 8 to a pack. They're 2 inches long, and $4.24 a pack. So, yep. Same deal on these guys. Another micro bait, CFS from Z-Man. They called them Micro Finesse Baby Ballers. This purple death color is one of my favorite. I already told you that, Brendan, that most of this package is finessey little stuff, brother. But we'll get on past it in just a second. We can talk about whatever you want, okay? We can talk about swim baits. You can get in on telling us your thoughts from ICAST since you were the one that attended. But the Baby Ballers is a pretty sweet little minnows style bait. I think I probably like it better than that micro worms. You get that ribbing, little bit of a thicker tail with that ball on the end. And I think Z-Man this year is coming out with the ballers in some bigger sizes, like a 4-inch and a 5-inch, something like that. I think I saw that, and I would be down with that. I think that would make an awesome chatterbait trailer in a standard size. So anyway, that does it for this month's unboxing from Discount Tackle. A lot of finessey stuff, as I said, but some cool stuff nonetheless. So if you like anything that you saw, you want to check it out, click those links that Daniel T has so kindly been throwing in the chat, or just click the link in the description to this video. If the link doesn't, if it's not clickable, just copy and paste it into your browser. Where's my beer? I had brought a second beer down here. Wanted to crack it open when I was ready for it. So sorry about that. But yeah, just copy paste that link to Discount Tackle. Go check out any and all of the stuff that we talked about tonight. We can also do just a quick check on Discount Tackle right now to see what is new there, as we sometimes do, because some of it is going to be new from ICAST, but some of it won't. Dare I call that a perfect pour? I don't really believe in a perfect pour. Okay. I lost your interest. Dude, BS. Get out of here, bro. I thought I would have lost your interest 45 minutes ago, the second that I cracked open that package. And I even gave you a fair warning that that was coming. Yeah, dude. Tying on that cover, Scott? My man. Great bait, great bait. I've not been relying on it this year as I had last year. Really good bait. I haven't been, doing a lot of poo fishing this year, but you know it, dude. That's what we're drinking tonight. Trout piss. Straight from Colorado. Delicious. Mm. Brennan is a poopy pants. Cranky boy. All right. Discount tackle. Straight to new arrivals. Dirty Jigs, JT Kenny, Grass Wizard. I don't know a whole lot about it. I think this is a new jig, though. Looks pretty solid. Looks kind of like a hybrid between a shaky head and a swim jig. Not mad about it. I kind of like that. The Micro D Bomb is new. ICAST release, going to be sweet on little micro jig. I'm a fan. You can see here just how small it is in John Cruz's hands. He doesn't have giant hands. That's going to be a good bait. 2.3 inches, $4.22 per pack. It's 10% off. Comes 10 to a pack. So you bet your ass if those are in stock in 3 weeks from now, that I'll be throwing some in my cart. Looks like the Magic Cross Swirl color is already out of stock. That is a wicked color. So I don't blame them, but they've got some other good colors. Their Super Bug is a popular color that I also really love. Goby Bite is a good one. Alabama Bream is a good one. Yeah. Good stuff. The G-Rat Executioner is not necessarily a new bait, but the top hook version of the bait is new to the market. I don't know. I haven't fished with it. I couldn't tell you. They did come out with some fresh colors. This light trout looks pretty wicked. These do not do very a great job of showing just how pretty the colors are. Garrett Dixon showed the colors in a new video that he just posted this past week. This is not that video. So I think he posted it on Tackle Warehouse. That would be worth looking at if you want to see what those colors really look like. But these come, I think, 2 to a pack. Yeah. So even though they're pre-rigged, it's a 6-inch bait, comes in blister packs of 2, and you're paying $15.29 at discount tackle. That's a pretty good deal. So when you think about it, for a pre-rigged bait, usually ones like this are going to have a treble on the bottom, and they're going to cost about that much or a little more for one bait. So that is a good deal. I will say that. And I very well might try these out. I like that cosmic blue color. Not mad about it. Some great hunting baits from Megabass. Rock hog creature. Little guy, 2.5 and 3-inch. The last ace is, I don't know, getting a lot of attention because Evergreen put it in as an ICAST bait this year, but it's not new by any means. In fact, it's a pretty old bait, but because of forward-facing sonar, it's getting a little bit more attention now, especially in the U.S. market. It's a JDM bait, but good bait. I'm not sure that I'm going to scoop them up. I think you only get a few per pack. It's a 5-inch bait, this 128 size. And I want to say you get like 4 in a pack, and they're $12. So Not a great deal, but has good action. So I don't quite know what to think about it. Bill Lewis with a 4-inch Magnum trap, pretty wild. I almost got this bait in this package, pulled off last minute. This is a little crank down swim bait, single jointed, 3-inch bait, high floating. So this thing is either going to sit on the surface or swim little bit subsurface. I kind of like that concept. I like baits that swim high in the water column, especially in the summertime. Pretty good looking colors, if you ask me. Of course, that flash gill is not in stock, but this reaction ghost gill is in stock. In stock, in stock. This would be great as a night fishing bait. So, anyway, $23.99 on that. I was going to pull the trigger on it, but then I noticed that the elastomer bellows baits were in stock. So, there's the 3.8, there's the 2.8. Let's just make sure that they're not all sold out. So the 3.8, all the colors except green pumpkin are in stock right now. There's that light gill candy that I picked up. You got to see it has a little bit of a purple flake in there. 2.8 inch. I got the green pumpkin chartreuse and the electric shad. I don't think they had the straight green pumpkin in stock, but they do right now. There's that Nico hack. Here is the bellows gill. I got the bellows shad. I think makes a slightly better trailer than the bellows gill, just with a little bit of a narrower profile, not quite as wide as the bellows gill. That's personal preference, though. There's that micro worms, another evergreen worm and case. There's the owner range roller and onto some stuff that we talked about in the last live show. So they do post these in chronological order of when they were released as new at Discount Tackle. I will say when they get baits back in stock, they do not put them at the top of the list of what is new at Discount Tackle. So you kind of have to keep an eye on that. However, let's just say you were tracking something and really wanted to know when it was going to come back in stock. Who cares what it is that I show you? So let's just say let's at least have it be something that's interesting. The Evergreen Combat Rat. Let's say you want to scoop this up. Let's say you really want it in the matte brown color. Just click that notify me, put in your email, boom, click notify me. It will send you an email as soon as that becomes back in stock. So that is the best way to do it. Is if something is out of stock and you are curious, it's not going to pop back up in new arrivals. It will just show in stock, ships Monday or, next day, whenever it is. If you're looking at it on Monday, it'll say ships Tuesday. Or it'll even say ships today if you're looking at it in the morning. But click that notify me so that you know that it becomes back in stock. Okay. Speaking of the combat wrap, this was another one that at ICAST, this was put in the best of show. This is quote unquote a new bait at ICAST this year. That's what was a little bit confusing to me is a lot of the baits that were being presented at ICAST are not necessarily brand new to the market. So I'm a little confused as to how either a new size or a new color or a bait that was released, I don't know, 6 months ago could be presented as like, brand new right now, new for 2025, right? It used to be that at ICAST, everything that was shown at ICAST was an upcoming bait that really was considered new for next year. But if you're lucky, they might be available in the weeks to come. You might be able to get them this season, but certainly not before the show. But you might be able to get them starting right after the show, or in a lot of instances, you'd have to wait until next year to get them, which was kind of annoying. And now it's almost like the opposite, kind of annoying, that you can get the baits. You almost don't, the hype's not around them because you don't know that it's going to be an ICAST bait. And then months after you've already had the bait, then they show it at ICAST as like, oh, it's this brand new bait. Here's why it's awesome. And you've already known about that. So here's the combat wrap. You get a lot of space in that joint. Look at all that freedom of movement of that rear section. Crazy. And the shape to it is funky for sure. The knock in it is solid. I'm pretty pumped about this guy. Have not thrown it yet, obviously, but I need to. Especially given how much use, how much of a beating my Spro BBZ1 rat has gotten. This guy needs to get wet and show what it is capable of doing. Whether it's in the day or the night, I don't care. And I think one thing that we did not check on. Oh, baby. Swiveling hook hangers. So underrated. I am pumped for that. Okay. Not just that, but then this tail. I don't want to fuck with it too much right now, but I did notice that in the box comes 2 extra tails. Look at that. Couple of spare tails on the go. That's pretty sick. So, yeah. Evergreen Combat Rat is one that I am jazzed to have. Jazzed to fish ASAP. So, next couple of night sessions that I get out, perhaps as soon as this week upcoming, this is going to be getting some use. Now, my father-in-law is coming in town this week, so I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to sneak out and do some night fishing this week or not, but Evergreen Combat Wrap going to get used for me very, very soon. Moves like an elude. Okay. Nobody else knows what you're talking about. I know Elude Rats. I know Elude is a company. They make a rat, but most of us don't just think, oh, an elude rat. Of course, I know what that looks like in the water. We don't know, Brendan. How can you explain that action, brother? Snack tip: root beer in a plastic bottle, drink 3/4, and put a little milk in there, shake it. What? Why the milk and why the shake, dude? No. Just drink half of it and then throw some ice cream in and have yourself a root beer float, dude. What the heck? And why even put it in the bottle? Why not just put ice cream in a bowl and pour half of the bottle of root beer onto the ice cream and have yourself a root beer float? Or a standard root beer float, pour it into a glass and then put a scoop of ice cream in with the root beer. Why are we talking about snack tips right now, dude? Yeah, dude. Waiting 2 to 3 hours for a milky root beer doesn't sound like it's worth the wait. Absolutely with you on that, Brian. Well, Brendan, get it together, man. You're a grown man. Get yourself some ice cream. Yeah, Brian, we're on the same page, dude. Daniel, you got no rats, huh? Interesting. Yeah, affogato is the shit, dude. Affogato. That's big time in other countries. Put some espresso on that ice cream. Or put some ice cream in that espresso. It's delicious. Brendan. That's called lazy. Um, yeah, I don't know. That sounds like it's just lazy more than anything because it would take you less time to just go to the store and get the ice cream and make the snack that you want and move on from it than to prepare your snack and wait for it, maybe forget about it, maybe not, but then have to wait. And then when you finally do get it, it be mediocre. Not at all as good as what you could have just gone and got. No, we don't. We really don't, dude. All right. So we've talked about a few things from ICAST. Brendan, why don't you tell us what are you on, Brendan? You are just weird. I know you're not a druggie, but come on, man. All right. So let's go to the warehouse of tackle. Let's just talk about, what's most interesting. What catches your eyes? Date nights. Yeah. So, Brendan, you got a girl now or what, man? You got a lady friend? If so, go for it. Blow that cash. Make her happy, man. I'm in support of that. So, ICAST, oh, the best of show stuff is kind of overrated, right? Can't put that much stock into it because of, who's actually casting votes and why they win. So Vanford, St. Croix, VMC Redline, Ballhead. There's that Shadtron I was talking about. Looks legit. Brendan says it swims good. 4.5 and a 6-inch. Brendan demands a 9-inch, so you know maybe they'll get right on that. Let's look at those colors while we're at it. They look good. Blueback herring, fishbone. They won't even show us glimmer shad. Ooh, mossback, gizzard shad. Good colors. So they're just saying it's not going to be available until December 15th. That is pretty standard of Z-Man. It's a shame, but we can wait. That is kind of what we've come to expect with ICAST. But now it's changed a little bit, which is kind of funky. So let's just skip to baits. We don't need to talk about rods and reels and combos and shite. Um, we're just going to kind of roast through these. So let's go crankbaits. So lipless baits haven't really been my thing this year. So for whatever reason, I don't have a lot of interest, but that might evolve over the year. The Berkeley Jack is a new lipless. The Bait Sanity is coming out with regular old baits, not swim baits. That's kind of cool. I'm not a big deep diver guy, but the X over is one that I've been meaning to throw, the shallow version. Now they've got a deep version. I don't know anything about grassroots, but that looks like a good crankbait, but it is $22. Big Rocco. Is that just new colors or what? Or is the Big Rocco new? Big Rocco is almost a 3-inch bait, weighs 5/8 of an ounce. I think that's new. The Micro Little John. This will be a good bait, no doubt. Tiny little guy. Of course, it's not right up Brendan's alley, but who cares? Doesn't need to be up Brendan's alley. I'm going to be scooping that up. $14 is a little bit pricey if you ask me. I don't know why it's priced there. That's kind of annoying. Why is the red eye shad listed as an ICAST release? That is super annoying. Rebel putting out some new colors. Interesting. I mean, I do like the Wheat Craw and the Crick Hopper for sure. I think Rebel put out some other new stuff as well. It's cool to see that the Tiny Gnat is coming out in a wider color line and that maybe they're going to invest in that. Not mad about that at all. New colors in the evergreen crankbaits. DT10, 16, 14, 6, 8. All right, that's enough of that. Jerk baits. Bait Sanity with the jerk bait. This looked really interesting. This is a new type of concept. So this is a bait that you can adjust the depth and the fall rate, the action of it by adding weights into these different slots. So I think it starts out as a floating bait, or either way, you can make it a floating bait by having no weights in there. You can make it a suspending weight or suspending bait by having 1 or 2 weights in there. And you can make it a sinking bait by having like 3 weights in there. Really cool concept that hasn't been done before. And I'm kind of a fan of. So innovative. And I like that. The Stunna is now coming in a 100 size 2-hook version. Okay. And they're also making a +2 in the standard Stunna 112. Bill Lewis with a lipless jerkbait, a twitch bait. Nishini. This looked like one of the most interesting baits at ICAST. This is the Erie Darter 95 MD. Just to hear the owner explain what this bill does was fascinating. So, as it is with this under, you know, how do I explain it? There's a standard bill, and then perpendicular to it, there's an underbill that stabilizes the action and makes it tight and prevents it from rolling quite as much. So very fascinating. But what you can do is actually trim this off, just file it down, and it'll turn it into a standard jerk bait that will allow it to roll and dart more side to side and erratically. But with this on stock, the way it comes, this thing wants to dive deep. It will have that tighter action. And as you twitch it, it will dive down and not go randomly up, down, side, side. So, uh, pretty fascinating and cool, innovative design that I've never seen before. So, way to go, Nishini, on that. Berkeley Stunna Colors times 10, X Wrap Colors, Rogue Colors. All right, Frank Scalish. Spro McStick Colors. So not a whole lot there. Let's take a look at Top Waters and let me see what you guys are saying real quick. Lucas. Lucas just went and ate some ice cream. Look at that, Brendan. He's got it available and he just took care of business. He whooped your ass, dude. So Grassroots is a JDM company and makes some cool baits. All right, good to know. Good to know. Tom. Oh, we already know you're weird, Brendan. You whispers. And who goes in showers after midnight, man? Whatever. I get it if you don't want to get into bed dirty, but um also kind of weird to be showering this late, dude. Yeah. I am not super jazzed about that. Kind of chaps my ass because it looks like an exact replica. So not cool. Dude, I didn't even know he was in Canada and not Japan. But good on you, dude. Lucky to be a Canadian, eh? Eh? All right. So this zigzag top water, kind of a weird deal. It's like a teaser. So you throw this on the front, tie your line here. It's weird that some of these show having a split ring and others don't, but essentially you'll tie your line to the front of this teaser. You'll put a split ring and a treble hook down here, and then you'll tie a leader onto here, and then however long of a leader you want, then you'll tie on your bait behind it. So maybe just a couple inches, maybe as long as a foot, which would make it a little awkward to cast. But this is really just a teaser that's going to go in front of your bait, give you the opportunity to hook up on multiple fish in the same cast. Um, kind of funky, but meant to go with a top water bait because this is a floating bait. So Bill Lewis doing something different, kind of fascinating. The Shower Blows coming out with a bone material of their shower blows for an anniversary edition. Not mad about it, but I am kind of mad about the price. $25 is insane. This color is wicked though. Half mirror bone. Ooh, how sick is that? Um, their standard bone and chrome are also great colors, but this bone material is a different material, gives off a higher pitch sound, and I'm interested. I just wish they were a little cheaper than they are. This buzzbait looks a little funky to me. Can you see what I'm seeing? Okay. Grassroots, there they are again. I honestly did not know about Grassroots. This looks like a decent little, not even little, 210. So that's an 8-inch bait. Pretty affordable, all things considered. $80. if they're making quality stuff, uh, 8 inches, 2 ounces, and it's got different modes and can be adjusted, might be worth checking out. Now, what is Hedden doing making a Whopper Plopper? Dude, take it easy. Keep to your old school, ancient ways, dude. You don't need to mix it up and try to copycat. The Jowler, I think this was a bait in the European market for Rapala that they decided to finally bring over to the US. It's got this unique cupped face on it. It's a three hook walking bait that spits a lot of water and has a unique action. I definitely don't think it's worth $22. I don't know what's with the pricing on half of this crap. Um, we got a big hopper, a crick hopper popper, the regular crick hopper. That's cool. The big hopper. What size is that? Ooh, an eighth of an ounce. The regular crick hopper um is 3/32 of an ounce. All right. So the big hopper is barely bigger. The crick hopper popper is interesting. I kind of like the look of that. I kind of want to give that a shot. And I like how they've done the photorealistic printed finishes on there. Here's the Strike King Evader that Frank was just talking about. How annoying is that? This is the Jackal Riser 007, just in a domestic version. I mean, unbelievable. For some people to be saying last year that they thought the Berkeley Credge was a copy of the riser bait from Jackal was kind of silly. But go ahead and say it now and say it loud from the rooftops because that's exactly what this freaking thing is. And that's a sexy shad, not a bluegill. So what are we doing? Um, why am I even looking at the colors? I'm not stoked about that. Teckle BD. Is that big dog? Yeah, the big dog. It's a 2 ounce kick knocker coming in at almost 7 inches. Brendan and his girlfriend would be excited about that because Brendan's not packing 7 inches. Ha ha! Got him. All right, the Zoo Wake, not cool. Kick knocker pup spec 2. What the heck is that? Smaller than this standard pup? I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. Teckle came out with a new pencil popper style bait called the Slash Kicker. I don't know. I'm not much of a saltwater guy or a striper guy. This just kind of screams that to me. And for 25 bucks, it's kind of hard to justify. So I'll just wait for someone else to say that it's amazing and something that we all need to have before I more seriously consider it. Rattle and chug bug. See, Storm just staying in their lane. Headin felt the need to make a freaking whopper plopper, but Storm just going with the chug bug. Here's the riser bait. Tell me that's not Strike King just copied that straight out. That might be unforgivable. Of course, these pictures are a slightly different angle, but same bait. Not cool, bro. Not cool. Yozuri already existing. So not a whole lot of brand new hard baits on the market, you know. Here's those colors I was talking about of the executioner.
What's happening, everyone?
I'll just mute that for you right now. Let you watch that and I'll catch up on your comments. Frank, don't say that, dude. Don't get the Evader, man. How much better was the price?
This bait's going to retail at $17.99, 2 per pack. Something you guys are going to definitely want to get your hands on. They swim on this bait. It's so unique. Coming in our executioners. The first one we're going to talk about, this is John Pearl Shad. This color here imitates a shad, a hitch, several bait fishes throughout the country. Trout is a color that a lot of Clearwater fishermen just love. This bait thrives in Clearwater, kind of softer green back with a little bit of red flake in it. And when you hold it up there to the sun, you can see it's got a lot of clear translucence to it. And that's going to be one you definitely want to get your hands on. The dirty hitch is a color that's going to work in clear water, dirty water. It's just kind of got that nice natural bait fish profile, a little blue hue through it, kind of a dark. Get your hands. These things are going to be fire. And we got the Guida's Sexy Shad coming, and that's another clear water color. It's got a nice soft blue back, 4-inch weedless executioner, retail for $12.99. There's going to be 5 per pack. That's a 4-inch weedless executioner. It's downsized from our 6.
So that looks cool too. Way to go, Garrett Dixon. So these videos are solid. Happy that Tackle Warehouse made those. Let's look at some soft plastics real quick. Some of these will catch my eye down the road. I don't know why Berkeley's trying to copy Z-Man when Z-Man just won the category on that. This looks wild. Best flipper ever, now the best skipper ever. Here's the G-Crack elastomer stuff. We got a hairy spider now. Hairy mustache. That looks like an existing bait. That's a Berkeley, what do they call it? Crash craw. I forget what they call it, but that looks like a bait that's already existing. Crush City coming out with a couple new profiles. That looks like a pretty wild Carolina rig bait. Not mad about it. Rebel coming out with some soft plastics, staying in their lane with the micro size baits. Pretty cool. They've got a worm, they've got a craw, they've got a little insect. I don't even know what to call that. It's not a Helgramite. And then they've got another little bug bait. So good on Rebel for putting out soft plastics. That's pretty cool. Another little hairy bait, but 6 inches? What? How's that 6 inches? Look at Tyline's UV. They just took a Zoom Z craw and threw some skirting material through it. That's stupid. Yamamoto with a tiny little bait. That's cool. This looks like a downsized version of a bait that already exists with those fat claws. I like that. 2.5 inches. So little dude. The Nuki bug, just like a poo craw hybrid bait. Interesting. Yeah, here's the prawn stars. Not porn stars, prawn stars. This one best of show looks gorgeous. Made from Elastec, so I don't blame anyone for voting on that because looks way better than the Strike King version. Am I right? Prawn Stars looks excellent. Everybody else trying to get a little piece of that Z-Man pie. The Rage Hawk is not new. That was last year. Fish Lab Nymph was last year. Maybe a 2.5 is new for them. The Dixie Flip is not new. D-Bomb in a new color. The B-Bug now with bait fuel. Okay. Dixie Flip. Chunky D new colors. Bronco Bug new colors. Cleanup Craw new colors. Feels kind of like a lot of new colors, if you ask me. Minnows, this is going to be a crowded category, but a lot of little baits. Look at this tadpole. That's kind of wicked. Way to go, Berkeley. Tiny little bait. This drip minnow looks pretty legit. Not mad about that. There's that last ace we were talking about. Here's a 2-inch elastomer bait. Looks kind of ugly. 5 to a pack for $12.99. I don't know even who Engine Baby or Engine Baby like is, but Gambler just putting out a copy of the Bastrix. This is what we unboxed earlier tonight. Great Lakes Finesse. This looks interesting. Very hard to tell based on a single photo, but from a profile standpoint, this thing has a extremely flat bottom and would make a good drop shot or hover style bait. It's the JDM bait that I don't know why it's being presented as an ICAST release, but good bait, just extremely expensive. Big bore tube. Looks interesting enough. That's supposed to be a minnow or a chatterbait trailer, or what are we doing with that netbait? Netbait just putting out all these profiles that most of them are going to do nothing. My guess is they won't last more than a year or two. Crush City with a couple new profiles. This is a Nico / shaky head worm. Jacob Wheeler does a great job of talking about what these baits do and why they were designed. The Mooch Minnow was, I think, available to Europe a year ago. Now in the US, he and Dustin Cannell have been doing awesome on this bait. It's essentially the same thing that we had last year, just with a new tail on it that makes it the Mooch Minnow. Allows for a slightly different action and will probably be popular. And this is their Senko style bait called the Pig Stick. Again, I'm not a big Senko guy, so I haven't heard a single thing about this. But that's interesting. I mean, it looks like a frog, but I assume this is just a soft plastic bait, so it's almost supposed to be like a toad that you just put an EWG in that'll sit in here and you swim it on the surface. So not necessarily designed to be a floating bait, but one that you'd swim on top of the water like a toad. but it's got the tail up, whereas like the old Rage Shad, so the Rage Shad was a bait that did have the tail up. You'd rig it from underneath. That hook would just lay on top. It was very difficult to expose. And because of the way these things are poured, they kind of would want to split in half. So the durability on these things was not great, but I like them better tail up than tail down. Um, Very loud kicking baits. Most of the Rage stuff is fantastic. You know, the Rage Toad is an awesome one. So interesting to see that they're coming out with another similar type of bait that is a Rage Toad, really, but it's a shad bait. So the Rage Buzz Minnow. Frank, no, dude. The You can find that riser bait. Let's not pretend like it's impossible to get your hands on. So don't do that. I don't know which insect we're talking about. The rebel one. Are you talking about this tail? Um, yeah, it's just the way they are, dude. Because they kick really hard. They slap the water. Makes a really loud buzzing noise as it kicks across the water. So yeah, all the rage tail stuff with those thick tails, it's legit. So this is an interesting concept that they haven't really made yet. Looks like it'll be best as just a standard standalone bait with, a weightless EWG or even a top hook with a lightweight um, jig head on the front, just a light ball head on the front with the hook coming out off the top. Could work if you're fishing through more sparse stuff, but looks pretty good. I think it would skip really well. Um, I like the look of it. 4-inch fat Senko. I showed you the 5-inch tonight. So maybe the 4-inch didn't exist before. Chatter Shad seems dumb. The Chatter Spike was underwhelming. And Z-Man already makes a few different chatterbait trailers. And the Razor Shads was great to start out with. So why make the Chatter Shad if the Razor Shads is a great bait as it is? I don't understand that. The drop kickers, this is a bait that has a sideways tail. I don't know what to make of it. Uh, I'd have to get my hands on it and see how it works in the water to know why it's designed that way and what to do with it. I'm really not sure. Scope Shad is not new from Yamamoto. That was last year. So maybe the sizes are new. I don't think so. Colors could be new. Who cares? Yum Dinger bulk packs. Who cares? Zeus Worm new colors. Who cares? Scope shad again? Why are we still talking about the scope shad? Dinger bulk packs. Weren't we just, did we go back in time? Spunk shad, new size, I guess. Missile bait's just making a 3 inch now. We last week we talked about the 3.5 inch from Missile, which I picked up last month. Pairs it up really well on this range roller. So 3 inch, I guess, is new, maybe. None of this stuff is like, oh, making me so excited. I wish I had made a short list of things that did jump out at me before, so we're not just going through everything here because this is kind of getting annoying. New colors, new colors. Bladed jigs. This should be a short one, or this is jigs and bladed jigs. Holy shit. Um, there's that grass wizard that's available now at Discount Tackle. Gamakatsu jig looks decent. Retails at $9. Holy shit. Jackal with a spoon. Nickels with a spoon. Another spoon. Hair jigs. Finesse jigs. Tungsten Evo, as I said, $15.99. Ain't gonna get it from me. Rapala with the jigging. Don't believe in those kind of bladed jigs. Here you go. That's cool. This used to be a JDM only deal. A straight black jackhammer with a matte black blade. I'm probably going to get a couple of those if they're readily available. And I'm not mad about it. I'm mad about the fact that it's not available till October 31st because I have considered just buying them from overseas and yeah, whatever. I might just wait. But a couple of new colors of jackhammer. Okay. That's it for jigs. Spinner baits, I'll skip. Swim baits, we talked about a few of these. These are just new colors. Magic Swimmer's not new. We talked about this last week as I had picked one up. The Magic Swimmer, it's kind of cool that now the Magic Swimmer is available in various sizes now that Berkeley owns Sabile. So you can buy it in sizes this small and then all the way up to, the 9 inch and things like that that are typically super popular for striper fishing. So interesting. You think it's been poo for 8 years, if not longer. Interesting. Yeah, I hear ya. Coal shads, clutch eco glides. What about the bull shad 6 inch? Buka. Where's that going to be listed under? Savage Gear Soft Shine Glide 7 inch. That'll be good. I'm sure it will be. Tightlines UV, you done did it again. First you took the Zoom Z Craw, now you're taking the Yamamoto Seiko, and you think you can just throw a skirt through the bait and call it your own? Unbelievable. Fraudulent. You're charging $3 a bait for that. Why? Yamamoto with a shad-shaped swimmer. I bet you that's going to be good. Simple, but legit. Oh, here's the big ballers that I was talking about. Oh, please give it to us in some freshwater colors. I see two colors, gold fire and pearl. Those look to be, well, that can't be it. But 4-inch and 5-inch, just like I was talking about. I don't know why the body's not the same. It's got that chatter spike type of cutout. The graph shad is supposed to be interesting, but doesn't apply to me. I'm not a forward-facing sonar guy, so if you are, go ahead and check that out. But the Mayer now coming in a 2.5-inch. They're making it small. Interesting. I thought 3-inch was small enough. G-Rat, new sizes, new colors. That 4-inch weedless could be good. So Fish Lab won a Best in Show award for one of these swim baits with Bill Seamantel at BBZ. Arma Joint is a good bait. I guess it's got some new colors out. Stormarashi with new colors. Interesting. So guys, I think we're pretty much gonna wrap it up there because we're kind of just, it feels a little redundant and a little bit boring and not that exciting. Maybe I will take some notes down later, and on a future live stream, we will actually talk about the meat and potatoes, about what was great at ICAST. As I was just saying, the 6-inch bull shad trick shad. I'm trying to look it up. All right, so just need to share my screen here. This is the Bassmaster site. I don't want to go through everything here because we already talked about a fair amount of this stuff. But boom, Buka brand packaging looks awfully familiar. That mystery tackle box packaging from the 4-inch. But this is an ABS plastic version of their 6-inch trick shad from Buka. That looks legit. I'm sure it will be legit. Comes with an extra tail. And it's going to be priced at $40. It says it will have swiveling hook hangers. So that plus must add triple grips. That's going to be competitive straight out of the gate, right? If you consider the fact that Spro paired up with KGB to make the Chad affordable at a $60 price point, and they sold like hotcakes. It was enough for me to end up buying 3 of them over the course of the last year. Buka making, I don't know if that's Ketchko in there doing the packaging and working on the production for Buka, but to see that his 6-inch bait is going to be readily available in a ABS plastic version, and for as low as $40 is pretty sweet. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. You think it probably wins ICAST Bait of the Year? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, no comment. Agreed. Um, it's all just buzz. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get a little extra attention since all the rage these days is forward facing sonar. Why not just call anything? Oh, this is great for forward facing sonar. Look, we put a little bit of flash inside the bait. We put a little bit of weight inside the bait. We put a little bit of sparkle in there. It shows up better. This is it's a forward facing bait. It's forward facing line. It's forward facing everything. Who gives? It does look like their box, but people would buy it, including me. Tom, you have yourself a great night. We've been on an hour and 56 minutes. Let's go ahead and just let's all leave with Tom. We've been on a while tonight. It's been a fun show. It is 11 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock for a lot of you guys that are East Coasters. So I super appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Cheers. Let's finish this beer number 2 for the evening. Thank you for hanging out. To all of you who are going fishing tomorrow, especially Frank, since we know he's been rigging up. Um, Best of luck on the water. Hope you whack him tomorrow. Um, Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Daniel T, thanks for your hard work in providing the links. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if somehow you aren't. And visit Discount Tackle using my link if you are interested in checking out any of the stuff we talked about. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys. It has been great, Daniel. Appreciate you.